In the end, it went the way it always has done. The World Bank announcing in the last hour or so that its next president will be the US nominee, Yong Kim. The two remaining candidates were from Nigeria and America. The US has held the World Bank presidency since it was founded in 1944. This year, though, was real pressure from other countries to open up the job to outside competition. Well, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala was the alternative choice. She is Nigeria's finance minister and was a former managing director at the World Bank until last year when she took up her government position. She lost out, though, to Yong Kim, America's candidate. He's a leading figure in the global health, the former director of the HIV/AIDS department at the World Health Organization and the current president of Ivy League Dartmouth College in New Hampshire. Well, Dadush has previously served as the World Bank's Director of International Trade and Director of Economic Policy. He joins us now from Washington. Did the best candidate win?
I personally don't think so. Dr. Kim is certainly a remarkable individual, but Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala has broader development and economic policy experience as well as a deep knowledge of the organization.
So why didn't the best candidate win?
Because it is not an open and competitive process. It is the subject of enormous amount of horse trading, much of which happens behind the scenes and is guided by the United States, which is the world's economic and military superpower.
I mean, the irony is that it was only last year, wasn't it, when all 187 members said it would be an open, transparent and meritocratic decision.
Yes, it is ironic, and we went through something that looks like an open process because different candidates were nominated, were interviewed and discussed, etc. But in practice, it remains a highly guided process.
What are Mr. Kim's faults then, or failings, do you think, for this job? And will it lead to problems within the World Bank in the future?
I don't have a critique of Dr. Kim. Dr. Kim is a remarkable man who has done quite a lot for development. I try to compare the qualifications that you need to run a broad-based development institution like the World Bank, and I find that the two other candidates that were put forward fit that job description much better than does Dr. Kim. Now, that's my view. It happens to be a view of a lot of other development professionals, but you never know. And I can only wish Dr. Kim good luck in his very, very important job.
It's just that Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, of course, had the backing, I think, of The Economist, the New York Times, a lot of people within the World Bank itself. Should she feel right to be aggrieved of this process? I mean, she didn't even get Russia backing her, when Russia, perhaps, as a developing nation, could have thrown its weight behind her.
Well, Ngozi's got a very important job as finance minister and economics minister in Nigeria. She's hardly going to be unemployed. I think she has done the world a service by accepting to be put forward and by fighting for the job.
With respect, though, that wasn't quite the question, was it? In fact, we interviewed her last week, and she was very diplomatic in what she had to say. But should she feel aggrieved? I mean, this is another US bloc stitch-up, isn't it?
Well, I think she should feel aggrieved. I suspect she does feel aggrieved, and those of us who want this to be an open and competitive process and reflecting the realities of today's world economy, where the developing countries are playing an absolutely fundamental role in driving growth and prosperity, feel bad about what has happened. We hope that by supposedly introducing a more competitive process this time, at least there was a discussion, that we are setting the stage for opening up both the International Monetary Fund to a non-European and the World Bank to a non-American, whoever the best person might be.
Do you think, though, Mr. Dadush, that this is probably the last time this is going to happen? That, you know, they can't keep this monopoly going forever?
I hope so. I cannot tell you that I'm certain of that. But I certainly hope so, and I think it's going to be very important for the viability of these institutions to be seen as representative of the broader world.
It is odd, isn't it, that you now have the new president of the World Bank appointed in a pretty untransparent sort of way, perhaps going round and lecturing African countries about democracy and transparency when it comes to their own government bodies.
Yes, yes. I agree. That's going to make it more difficult for Dr. Kim. There is going to be a legitimacy issue right from the first day. But again, you know, people will rally around the new president.
Final thought. Should he feel embarrassed, Mr. Dadush?
I don't know if he should feel embarrassed. After all, he was called to this job by the President of the United States, his leader, and I'm sure that he sees it as doing the best he can to serve his country.
Okay, Dadush, very good to speak to you. Thank you very much indeed for joining us
Thank you.
on the programme.